We're gonna jump right into it. And Danny, what a hell of a fight last night.
Yeah,
The last two fights. The other fights, we didn't watch the prelims, but the main card was pretty much shitty until the last two fights.
I agree.
Costa versus Stockholm and Usman versus Edwards, number two. Now that first fight, I mean, Rocco was tired, old man, and
Yeah,
he just kept fighting.
you could see he didn't have anything left in the tank.
And he just kept mustering up whatever was in his tank to just keep throwing left hands and just kept bombing on my man.
Yeah,
Like he had no energy, but anytime he got close to throw a spinning kick, a roundhouse kick, or a fucking left hand, he was just doing it. Bent over, hands on the waist. Get away! Get away from me!
Hmm.
I mean, the ending, of course, he flips on top with 20 seconds left, takes his fucking bloody face, he fucking rubs his nose in it.
yeah, that was funny.
It was an okay fight. It was pretty funny. Then the main event, first round, good for Edwards. Got on top, was able to control, land some punches. Excuse me. Second, third, and fourth round, that was all Usman. We both
Yeah,
agreed Usman owned the second, third, and fourth, and most likely he was owning that fifth round. He was on his way.
he was gonna win that fight.
Yeah, he was gonna win that fight 4 rounds to 1. And what was it? About a minute left.
55 seconds.
55 seconds. Edwards throws a fake 1-2 right to left. Uzma goes to dip left, and there is a shin that is just waiting to fucking meet his face. And oh Lord, did it fucking meet? My man was out. He was out cold. He was dead in the center of the ring, just sitting there. 100%.
Yeah,
I mean, 28 fights you haven't lost. You've pretty much been dominating everybody. You were dominating that fight, and then there's just boom. Night.
yeah, he was due for a loss at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but I just. Not like that. Like, holy shit, man.
Well, there was no other way that Edwards was gonna win that fight.
Yeah, like, that's one of those, boxing moments where, like, you need a knockout. Like, that's the only way you're going to win this fight. And it looked like Edwards had given up at a point.
It did,
In that fifth round, it looked like he was not like overly tired, but just like, all right, I'm done. Enough's enough. You know what I mean?
and it was funny at about a minute and a half left in the fight. I'm listening to the announcers, and they're like, "Yeah, Edwards, his hands are still there, his feet, his legs are still there, but you could just see that he's defeated. He's given up. His heart wasn't in it." Yeah, and then at 55 seconds, he greeted Uzma at the front door with a fucking shin to the face.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
he,
was out on his feet, bro. Like as soon as it touched, it was like he got sparked. Like, poof.
yeah,
Well, that
like,
that third fight is gonna be one hell of a fucking fight.
yeah, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a fight. And now we may be able to see Usman versus fucking Hamzat Shavam easier in the case that fucking Edwards has the belt now.
Right,
Because if Hamzat beats Nate, you gotta almost pretty much put fucking Hamzat versus fucking Usman to go back to the title.
that'd be a good fight.
That'd be a hell of a fight.
Definitely.
Usman's hungry now. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I would hate to fight Usman. If I was anybody who wanted to fight Usman next, I'd be like, nah, I'm alright. I'll wait. I'll wait another fight. Because somebody's gonna catch a shin to their face fighting him next. Because he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so other than that, the main card was shitty up until those last two fights. I enjoyed the last fight the most. It was a pretty good fight. All right. So other than that, we'll hop right into the NFL news. Oh shit.
Excuse me, sir, but I'm afraid someone is endeavoring to contact you telephonically.
Yes, that would be my wife. Sorry about that, Waltz. All right. So, Danny, you want to lead us off with the NFL news?
There wasn't much.
Hey, what, like two things?
Panthers quarterback Matt Corral is likely out for the year. I'm not really sure how to say this word, lisophrenic, but it was an injury to the foot. His foot got stepped on in the game, and he's likely out for the season. Deshaun Watson was suspended 11 games after the initial 6-game suspension, fined $5 million, and has to go through mandatory evaluation and treatment.
Yeah, I find that bullshit.
I do.
If the United States government and justice system did not find me guilty of anything, why do I have to go to fucking therapy?
And yet, when fucking Ray Rice did what he did he have to go to therapy?
Well, they pretty much just booted his ass out of the league. Once the video dropped, it was out. Cause remember, like there was speculation there was no video yet, and
Right.
they were like, "All right, here's 6 games." You know what I mean? And then the video came out, and the NFL was like, "Dog, you're done. We can't." You know what I mean? America's changed. It's not, innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. And this is absolutely bullshit. I'm sorry. Allegations are not set to the side. No charges have been put against me. Why should I have to go see a behavioral therapist?
Right.
Of course the fucking behavioral therapist is going to think I'm batshit crazy. I'm an NFL football player. I go out there every day and put my body on the line. Of course somewhat of my fucking brain is off the fucking hinges.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't understand how he could do that. Okay, therapist, you put the fucking helmet on, you read the fucking playbook, you go out there and get hit by a 300-pound fucking lineman and tell me you're not fucking crazy. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And I'm done with Roger Goodell. Oh, I'm for the players, this and that. I signed a PA agreement, and then we go through the fucking the process that we've made, that the agreement between the NFL and the PA have done. This judge reviews it, says it's egregious, but only suspends him for 6 games. Based on the conduct policy. Yes, he may have he violated the conduct policy. So there's 6 games. Now you want to appeal it to make it a year? It's absolutely bullshit.
I agree.
Look, he was lucky for 6. 11, he's still lucky. The $5 million in fine, okay, fine, whatever. The behavioral therapy is that. I think that's where I would have drew the line.
Yeah, I think it was a little much.
I think that's just bullshit. How do we not know that Roger Goodell wouldn't pay the therapist off to be like, yeah, just report that he's out of his fucking mind so we can get him out of the league? Like, I think that's gonna somewhere come back to haunt him.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's just gonna be drama, because any therapist now is I don't know. I'm just appalled. I really am at this. This is bullshit. We're making this more than it should be. And most people be like, but why would 30 women just come forward? Believe all women. Believe them. Come on, man. We talked about it last week. How many times do massage therapists get asked a day? You want to choke the weasel? You want to stroke the camel? No,
Right.
no, thank you, sir. Okay. No one bats an eye. Deshaun Watson does it. Now everybody's like,
How dare you?
They see him as a milk ticket.
exactly. So
Opportunity to make some money because they don't make enough money.
Exactly. And I'm actually upset that nobody's looking at it from that point of view either. He's a multimillionaire. Like, we haven't seen this before. Women,
Taking advantage of athletes.
taking advantage of athletes and their wallet. Like, come on, man. Like, for men in this country, it's you're guilty until proven innocent, and women, they just get that, believe all women, they're innocent. I'm sorry.
We're the victims.
Yeah, bullshit, my ass.
You're the victims, yet men get done dirty every day, left and right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Okay.
bullshit.
I mean, I'm not saying we don't complain or aren't mad about it, but you don't see us getting on fucking TikTok and all these fucking
Social
social media
media.
platforms and, oh my god, I'm a victim. Oh my god, Becky took half of my money in the house. Nah.
No, what do we have to do in this country? We have to take it underneath the chin and just keep going. We don't complain because we know what it is. But God forbid a woman gets asked a question, "Hey, you want to stroke my fucking cock?"
Sexual harassment. Oh
Like,
my god.
come on, man. Like, look, should he have been asking massage therapists for sex or whatever sexual favors? Most likely not. Go get a hooker. They won't complain. They'll take the money and they'll do what they gotta do. But it's just,
It's still bullshit.
yeah, it is. I have nothing more to say about it than that's just, it's fucking hogwash at this point. I want it to be done and over with so we could just move the fuck on with the NFL and we don't have this fucking narrative that's gonna be painted through this whole season. And the feminists are never gonna let this fucking go. It'll be we won't hear the end of it until Deshaun Watson fucking retires. You know, you could be at a random bar somewhere. Deshaun's fucking lighting it up. Well, he fucking touched 30 women. Like, yo, come on, come off it. If you don't want to watch something else. And the same goes for this fucking show right now. If you don't like what I have to say or Danny has to say, you can go fuck yourself and you can turn the screen off. If you want to sit there and take what we're giving you, then don't complain afterwards. Don't. You chose to sit here and watch this episode. You chose to watch everything else. You chose. Stop being a bitch and complaining. If you don't want to see it, close your fucking eyes or turn the fucking TV off or whatever fucking electronic device. This fucking whole country has gone fucking pussy for the last 10 years. Oh my God, my feelings, my feelings. Nobody gives a fuck about your fucking feelings. Everybody nowadays, oh, well, my feelings, I feel, feels over real. Fuck your feelings. That, period. We're here to fucking report factually what the fuck is going on.
Everybody cares about how y'all feel, but nobody gives a fuck about how we feel, right? Our feelings don't matter. We're men, so we're not supposed to feel. We're supposed to think and be logical. Yeah, I get that. But you know what? Men do have feelings too. Men do feel things. We obviously feel things for a reason. But that's irrelevant. That don't matter. That just gets swept under the rug, right?
It pretty much does.
Go fuck yourself.
I fucking wholeheartedly agree with you, Danny. Go fuck yourself.
We all have feelings for a reason. So it's like, well, what are we doing here?
Exactly. Like, so everybody else can feel, and we gotta fucking cater to them. But the moment a real man says, you know what, I just don't, I'm not feeling right about this. Oh, shut your fucking mouth and fucking keep going.
And just take it.
And just take it. Well, we've talked about it off air and on air. You better fucking watch because real men are gonna fucking draw the fucking line in the sand eventually, and it's not gonna be pretty.
And no wonder why so many men are walking away from not wanting to get married and be in a relationship. And there's no men out there. Yeah, there's no men out there. I know.
There's no men out there, but we fucking outnumber you guys 3-1. Or whatever the fuck the stats are.
No, I think they outnumber us, but still.
Yeah, I think. Well, maybe in America, whatever. I may.
No, I think in general they outnumber us, but still.
Yeah.
You know, as the years go on, they're gonna keep complaining. There's no good men out there. There's no good men out there. Where's all the men gone? No one wants to get married anymore. Blah blah blah. This and that.
Yeah, and then when some millionaire asks for a massage. Oh, there's my meal ticket.
Yep, let's
then
take advantage of it.
20 other bitches hear about it like, oh, I could get paid too?
Yep.
How dare you?
That's why we're gonna be getting ready for the sex robots in a couple of years.
I'm all right. My hand and my wife are still pretty good, so. I just don't. I can't. Like, I don't want to dive so far outside of what we're talking about. Do you agree upon this, Danny? This is the last time we're gonna talk about this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about it no more. So this is the final. Basically me and Danny have drawn a line in the sand with Kevin Durant and Deshaun Watson's fucking situation. This is how we feel. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. If you agree, hey, then come back. All right. So I guess Matt Carroll out for the year, broken foot.
That's it.
Jets signed DeJuan Brown. That was last week.
Yeah. There's nothing else to talk about, honestly.
Besides preseason, I mean,
I don't really give a shit about preseason.
I mean, preseason's a way for fantasy wise. If you're just turning on a game because you have nothing to watch, it's pretty good to go out there and look at the number ones, see if there's a guy, who is a rookie that was drafted, see how he's doing in the preseason, see if his production is up, because his production may lead to the regular season. But that's usually about week 1 or week 2. Around 3 or 4, you're most likely gonna see the starters.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I don't remember his name, but a sleeper pick, I believe, out of the Steelers is a wide receiver. He's small. He's almost like a Hunter Renfrow type, and he was dicing up. I forget who they were playing the other day, the Steelers, but he may be a sneaky pick for you later on in the late rounds. I think in other news, Tom Brady won't be. There's no timeline for his return. What's going on with him?
Yeah, I've heard that. But, I mean, it's Tom Brady, so I still expect him to be back and ready for week 1.
Yeah, I do too. And even if he's not, I mean, like, he's going to be ready. He's done this for so long. There's no reason why he wouldn't be ready.
Yeah, he's abnormal. He can step onto the field without no training, without no preseason, without no nothing, and just be ready to go.
Yeah, because I put money on it. He probably has that playbook memorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Absolutely.
All right. Have you seen that new NFL commercial? Good. You'll flip out if you see it, but it's the fucking housewives are in the commercial and they're lighting up Dak Prescott. They got pads on, like the housewives in New Jersey.
Okay.
They have pads on in this commercial and they're lighting up Dak Prescott. It's funny. It's a little little kicker, but it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen it. So, I mean, it sounds stupid.
It was.
Keep empowering women, but yet men built the country. But okay.
This just fucking slid that in there. Yeah, I'm like, there's really no other news out there besides maybe injuries.
Yeah. And honestly, there's not. I mean, I'm not saying there's not injuries, but there's nothing like really significant.
Yeah.
All the major players, they're all healthy. Everybody's getting geared up and ready to go.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll jump into the mocks. I'll start with pick 4, and this is why, guys, I say you should be drafting on ESPN after you get yourself familiarized with drafting, right? Because when you're going against the AI, the AI is gonna pick the expert's opinion of what the best player is to take there, and it's usually running backs. But in a league like mine or PPR, wide receivers are more valuable. They just are. It's a fact. It's not like it was 10 years ago or not 15 years ago where running backs were the workhorse. They still have those, your Derrick Henrys, a few guys, but majority of the league is passing.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying you guys should be drafting on ESPN, because with my 4th pick on Draft Wizards, I was able to get Cooper Kupp and then DeAndre Swift. Then the next one I was able to get Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. While the computer picked twice Austin Eckler and DeAndre Swift. in both back-to-back drafts. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys should be getting yourself familiarized. Even go to NFL.com for their mock drafts. They're not as good as ESPN. I think ESPN's a little better.
I mean, the one ESPN draft that I did, fucking, I was in a room with 12 other guys, and fucking Justin Jefferson ended up going like 7th or 8th.
Jesus.
And I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah, honestly, he should be within the first 3 picks. He should be off the board.
yep.
So then the next one, I was able to get the 5th pick. I was able to get Cooper Kupp again, and Saquon Barkley. Now I didn't want Saquon Barkley. I just took him for the sake of taking him. The next one, I was able to get Stephon Diggs and Aaron Jones. Wow. Now the computer actually it drafted correctly this time. It took Dalvin Cook and Stephon Diggs back-to-back times, which is not bad. You know, if Dalvin Cook can stay healthy, you know Stephon Diggs is going to put up his numbers. You're looking really good right there.
Yeah.
The 6th pick, I was able to get Jamar Chase, Aaron Jones. And then, again, with the 6th pick, I was able to get Cooper Kupp and Aaron Jones. So now the computer, it spit out Dalvin Cook and Travis Kelce. Both times. It's not bad. I'm not one to go out there to grab a tight end. I don't even care if it's Travis Kelce. It's just... Yes, tight ends play a bigger role in the NFL nowadays, but it's still not to the effectiveness as a wide receiver.
And honestly, if you don't have someone like a Gronk or a Jimmy Graham when he was, you know, in his heyday, you know, how many points is your tight end really going to give you?
I mean, Travis Kelce can definitely put up points.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you don't have someone like that, you know, how many points is your tight end really going to put up? Like Mark Andrews or Darren Waller or Dawson, what are you going to get, 9 points?
Yeah, outside of that, maybe average of 5-6 points.
So it's like, you know, it does, you know,
it doesn't make sense to take a tight end second, unless it's going to be a Travis Kelce, a Derek Waller, or a Mark Andrews. Other than that, you wouldn't. Why would you? You just, if someone did it in my draft, or me and Danny's draft, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Like, all right, you took that guy while you missed up on 5 other guys that can double up his production.
Yeah.
All right. So with the 7th pick, it's ridiculous again. I was able to get Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones, and then I was able to take Jamar Chase and Javonte Williams. While the computer did this one was pretty good. Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelce. I'm not opposed to that. That's pretty good if you're gonna move in that direction.
Right.
You're getting the guy who's projected to blow up the league this year and lead the league in receiving, and Travis Kelce, who's an all-star tight end who's gonna put up wide receiver numbers on a consistent basis.
Right. You know, I where was my 1 second.
Take your time. Like I said, guys, tight ends should be around the 5th to 6th round.
I did do one draft, and
let's go over that draft.
I had the 11th pick out of a 12-man room, and I'll tell you, you know, right off the get, my two I remember who my first 2 picks were. So this was the tight end, this was the running back, and the wide receiver that I had. I was able to get Stephon Diggs and Nick Chubb with my first 2 picks. And I had the 11th pick. Now I did make a couple of errors because I did pick a couple of guys that were on the same bye week as for 9 and 7.
Okay.
But I mean, overall, for having the 11th pick, I ended up outside of Nick Chubb and Stephon Diggs, I ended up getting Josh Allen, Antonio Gibson, Jerry Jeudy, Dalton Schultz, Drake London, the Rams defense, Tyler Bass, Derek Carr, Mark Ingram, because Alvin Kamara is not going to be playing the first 6 games. So that's someone that you might want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Chris Olave, Alexander Madison, because not knowing what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. And also they have guys behind him. But at the same time, if you look at what Alexander Madison has been able to do over the last couple of years when Dalvin Cook has been hurt, He's put up pretty good numbers. I think he's got a couple 100-yard rushing games.
No, I mean,
So he's very formidable.
for that late, I love that pick because it's like you're holding. It's like you're holding a stock in a
Yeah.
sense, right? So you're holding this stock, right? And say Dalvin goes down, now that it's a high commodity now. That's
Right.
a high demand item now. It's like, so for the person who has Dalvin Cook, if it's not you, is gonna want Alexander Madison, especially if they're hurting at the running back position. Now you hold a trade value right there.
Right.
And then say if you don't want to trade him, now you've just got you have another starting running back on your lineup that you can use, which is fucking fantastic.
Yep.
So you didn't go out of your way to get him. He fell to you, and you had that in mind. Look, Dalvin's not that healthy all the time. Alexander Madison pretty much is healthy, and he gets the job done.
Right. I also picked up Jamison Crowder, Julio Jones, and Austin Hooper. Now, like I said, a couple of these guys are on the same bye, weeks 9 and 7. But I mean, ultimately, having the 11th pick, I think I did a pretty good job.
I think that lineup's pretty good. You know, fucking Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs,
Jamison Crowder. You know,
well, I mean, Jamison Crowder does play with Buffalo, but I would just tell you guys, watch yourself out there, like we went over weeks ago. Sometimes it could be a big good thing that they're on the same team, but sometimes it can hurt because somebody's gonna have to get the ball.
Right. Matchups too, though. So
100%. I mean, so far that's pretty much. I mean, because drafts are pretty much gonna pop off next week, everybody. So, you know, get your practice in, get your magazine, do your due diligence, study, and try to get the best lineup you can. You don't want to go out there and be lost. I mean, that's the worst time to be lost is those first 4 rounds. Those first 4 rounds are so crucial to everybody's lineup. It's imperative that you know who you're picking and who you ideally want to pick.
right. Absolutely. So
You want to hop into the top 15 tight ends?
Yeah.
All right, let me hear your list.
Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, Dawson Knox, Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Mike Gesicki, Cole Kmet, T.J. Hawkinson, Irv Smith, Gerald Everett, and Pat Freemuth, or Frymouth, whatever the fuck it is.
Freemuth.
Yeah.
He actually had a good year last year. That's actually a good pick. That's a sneaky pick for a tight end right there. I mean, it is a lot up in the air because of who's going to be the quarterback. Is it going to be Mitch Trubisky? You know, but I mean, Ben didn't have the arm strength last year. You know, he was just an old man at that point, and he had a decent year with Big Ben. So I think he should be on the up. So if you guys are looking at a tight end where you don't want to waste a pick relatively early, you should be looking at Pat Freemuth.
Yeah.
All right, so I got Travis Kelce at number 1, Mark Andrews at number 2, Dan Waller at number 3, George Kittle at number 4, Kyle Pitts at number 5, T.J. Hawkinson at number 6, Dalton Schultz at 7, Dallas Goedert at 8, Ertz at 9, Pat Freemuth at 10, Mike Gesicki at 11, Dawson Knox at 12, Cole Kmet at 13, Hunter Henry at 14, and Noah Fant out of Seattle as number 15. When Hunter Henry went to New England last year, I thought it was going to be a big year for him. Because, you know, Bill Belichick loves to use the tight ends.
Right.
Now, I understand it was Mac Jones' first rookie year, and there's, you know, he's still got to get acclimated and adjust to it. So I would just be wary if you're going to draft Hunter Henry this year again. I don't know what his role is going to be like in that offense.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, and who else do they have at tight end? That's it.
Pretty much.
So.
I mean, well.
I mean, he's not no Rob Gronkowski, but I expect him to definitely be used.
Yes. Now he wasn't on the list but I think you guys should take a look at him. Evan Ingram. Now, he played with the Giants for a long time. Not a long time, a good, decent amount of time. Was he used to his full potential? I don't think so.
No.
Going to Jacksonville with that new supporting cast and everybody's young, I think he's poised to have a big year at tight end. And also, he should be on the list, but just because he got hurt last year, he wasn't. Robert Tonyan. If he can stay healthy, that's a big target for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out on him. And also, another tight end who should be on the list, but just because where he played and the injuries, Logan Thomas for the Redskins. He's a good tight end. He puts up numbers. It's just, it's always, you guys got to think, who's throwing him the ball? You know, if it's Heineke, okay, there's some rapport there. There's some relationship there where you know, all right, it's worth the start, right? I don't know what his relationship is like with Carson Wentz. For the life of us, we don't even know if Carson Wentz is going to make it past 6 weeks.
He should.
We hope so.
I mean, he doesn't really get hurt that often. You know,
Carson Wentz?
Oh, I think we're talking about, I don't know. For some reason, I could have sworn you said Derek Carr.
Oh, no. Derek Carr stays healthy.
Carson Wentz, yeah. I mean...
David Njoku, that would have been a good pick at tight end for people. But with Deshaun Watson, 11 games, Jacoby Brissett. Now, Jacoby Brissett can just, manage the ship, but it's not going to be at a high level.
At this point, you really should kind of stay clear away from anybody on Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Nick Chubb is a really good running back, but they're going to stack the box, so...
I still like Nick Chubb as a pick for your running back, your first pick or maybe second pick. He's still gonna put up the numbers, and honestly, in my opinion, I would be going for Nick Chubb more often than not now because, like I just said, Jacoby Brissett is not like he can manage what's going on, right? So we know Cleveland's gonna lean more towards the run.
Yeah. But teams know that, though.
Yes. 100% they do. But he's still a good enough running back where he's gonna give you points, and especially if you're playing matchups.
Yeah.
All right, so I think he's gonna have a good year. Don't fucking quote me on it, but Hayden Hurst from Cincinnati, since Cincinnati's what's his name? He went to the Jets. Uzma? Oh no, not Uzma. Fucking shit. What the fuck is his name? He signed with the fucking Jets. Fuck, what's his name? Oh, I got it.
No clue.
Oh, CJ or Uzuma.
Okay.
Right? Now, Uzuma had a really good year last year with Cincinnati. So I would be looking at Hayden Hurst. He may be taking he may be, the number 1 tight end on the depth chart. So he may basically just be replacing the production of what Uzuma had last year. So I mean, if you're kind of thin at the tight end, maybe take a shot on him. Austin Hooper, I really wouldn't. I don't know what we're gonna get from Tannehill. It looks like this may be Tannehill's last, fucking hoorah.
Yeah. But I mean, still, you never know.
Yeah. Now, Noah Fant is number 15. I would just say stay away from Noah Fant. We don't know what Seattle's going to do, if it's going to be Geno Smith or Drew Lock. I wouldn't trust them with anything.
Yeah.
I once had high hopes on fucking Geno Smith, but when you play for the Jets.
Yeah. You got to be careful, too, about taking Justin Jefferson as well. Or even Adam Thielen, because think of it this way, if Kirk Cousins has to miss any time, there's no way he's going to get the ball.
Yeah, and that'll definitely hurt your feelings and kill your fucking season.
So, yeah, and I'm not saying it will happen, but I mean,
But always keep the eye out for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say take precaution in Thielen because if something happens to Kirk Cousins, Thielen's pretty much not going to see the ball as much as Jefferson is. I think in any scenario, even if it's the backup to Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson is so good that he's going to be open. Now, his production won't be as good
Excuse me, sir, but
if it was Kurt back there throwing him the ball. But a backup, you're praying.
Yeah. So just, think about that and build your depth accordingly.
Yes. Dawson Knox, barring if he stays healthy, he should have a good year with Buffalo. He was putting up numbers last year in Buffalo before he broke his hand.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki, he's gonna have a big one this year.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I mean look at what he did last year and who they have. All they had was pretty much Waddle, right, and Devontae Parker, right. There really wasn't much threat there in the wide receiver position. Now you have Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and then with those running backs that they have, Mostert and I forget who else. Oh, Chase Edmonds. Mike Gesicki's gonna have a lot of open views for him. So right now, I'm looking at Mike Gesicki as probably who I want to go after ideally in the draft for a tight end. Zach Ertz, very talented. He's hurt right now.
Yep.
And we don't know what we're gonna get from Kyler. Me and Danny aren't the biggest Kyler Murray advocates.
Nope, not at all. Me, I'm a Dalton Schultz kind of guy.
Yeah, that's one of Dak's favorite targets, and he should have a good year this year as well.
Yeah.
George Kittle, great tight end. He has health issues. Normally, he's out for a couple weeks every year. But I don't know if I could trust to take him with Trey Lance as their quarterback. We really haven't seen much from Trey Lance at all. And if he's really going to be the rookie guy who's going to get, the play calling, there's going to be an adjustment period. So for me, I would stay away from George Kittle for now. But if he's going to fall in your lap at this 6th, 7th round, all right, I could see, the justification on taking him at that point.
Right.
Mark Andrews, if you can snag him without hurting yourself, snag him because that's the only target that fucking Lamar Jackson has to throw to.
Right.
As we know, Travis Kelce, that's just a great option.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
We don't know. Atlanta's up in the air with their quarterback situation.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's what scares me. Kyle Pitts is a monster. Yes, I'll give him that. But it's like, I trust you. I don't trust who's throwing you the ball though. You know what I mean? Marcus Mariota. Darren Waller. I think
he's got to stay healthy too.
He's got to stay healthy 100%. But having Devontae Adams there, he's gonna get even more looks. So I would, if you can snag him without hurting yourself, like I said again, go for it.
Yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson. I think he'll have a better year than he did last year, especially with golf and the offense getting familiarized and the more reps, knowing the system. I think Detroit's posed to have a good year. Dallas Goedert. It depends on Hurts, man. And they're a run first team. We all know that. We've seen it last year at the end of the season. They found their identity, which was running the ball. So I mean, it's kind of up to you. It really is.
I really like Cole Kmet. Like I'm looking at his name on my list, and I don't know. I just got a feeling he's gonna be a sneaky good pick this year.
But that all revolves around Justin Fields.
No, that's what I'm saying. But, I got a feeling that Cole Kmet could become his safety net.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. And if that's the case, then that'd be a sneaky good pick for you.
Yeah.
Tyler Higbee, also from the Rams. He had a solid year last year. I mean, he was kind of like up and down. But for the most part, when he had his good weeks, they were really good weeks for a tight end.
Yeah. I mean,
somebody who's sneaky on my list. I don't know how they're going to do, but from what we think about the team and everything and where we think they're headed, Gerald Everett from the Chargers. I think that's a sneaky pick for you right there.
Especially if you got fucking Justin Herbert throwing you the ball, I think that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So and you know, and where we think they are, I think they're going to the Super Bowl this year. So
Yeah, maybe. You know, I mean, they
or at least
definitely have
deep.
a deep playoff run. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the pieces in place to do it. So, you know, I mean, Irv Smith could be another sleeper. You know, I mean, if he stays
Just looking
healthy.
at him. Just looking at him.
You know, I mean, granted, I know you have Jefferson and Osborne and Thielen and, you know, the running game, but,
Yeah, but
you
there may
know,
be some open looks for him there, and if the new coaching staff and everything, if they do their due diligence, they may be able to find ways to use him more effectively.
mm-hmm. Absolutely. So,
Well, those are the tight ends, guys. I don't know who this guy is. Before we get off of this, Albert Akuwuga Bunanon.
yeah,
Hell of a name.
Try saying that 10 times fast.
I can't even say it fucking once. From Denver, it depends if you want to take a gamble or not. Yes, Russell Wilson is there, so he may blow up in that role.
Maybe, but also you got to remember, you know, new team, new scheme, you know, getting familiar with everybody, and, you know, there is that, you know, or there could be that adjustment period.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for the most part, guys, we just gave you 25 tight ends. We gave you our top 15, but we gave you 25 tight ends that can work from you.
yeah.
Depending on your
And a
need.
lot of and at least half of those guys you can get in the later rounds, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know.
Probably later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of
So-
people are going to be focused on the running backs, the wide receivers, quarterbacks, where you can pick one of these guys and sneak in there.
And even if you get one of those guys in the 7th, 8th, 9th round, and you know they're not really doing much for you, you know, you say, you know, 3 to 5 points, 6 points every week, but if the rest of your team is built the way that it should be, and your depth is really good, it's not gonna fucking matter.
Yeah, it's not really that much of a concern. I mean, you could, if you're studying your lineup and you're like, well, fucking, I keep getting, shitty weeks from this guy. Well, maybe look at your waiver wire. There could be somebody who we haven't named on this list that's just blowing up and having a great year.
And I bet you there will be.
There always is. For every position, throughout the year, you're going to have to be on that waiver wire. If you're not on that waiver wire, you're just fucking yourself in the ass. I'm just being honest with you.
Right.
You need, look, some of the picks that you guys got past, I think, about the 6th round, they're not going to perform the way you think they are. So you guys have to be ready to hit that waiver wire and hit it hard. Hard. Because like we just said, Albert Owukabunanam, we have no idea who the fuck he is. But by week 3, the whole world may know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready to jump on an opportunity and snag it as fast as you fucking can.
Yep.
Even
prematurely, grab him prematurely, if you have to, and then you can always drop him again.
Exactly, that's a great point. If you want to be, you just want to grab him for the sake of, I think this guy's gonna blow up. Go ahead, take that shot. Now, if he doesn't, you can always drop him and pick somebody else up.
Yep. So just be aware.
Be aware, do your homework. Guys, I wouldn't really get so caught up in projections, okay? It's an educated guess at best. Nobody knows. So don't trust a projection. Like, everybody's projecting Justin Jefferson to be the best wide receiver in the league. I'm not doubting it. Right?
He might have his so-called sophomore slump. He might have a bad year. I mean, do we expect that to happen? Not at all.
No, but it could happen. These are things that you guys got to look at.
Right.
But like I was saying, to the point is, yeah, I think Justin Jefferson could have a fucking fantastic year. He may exceed the projections. He may under-succeed the projections. Right? He's still going to have a good year.
Right.
So don't get caught up in the projections. I more or less will look at the history. The history will tell you a little bit more than the projection. What they did last year, what they did the year before that.
Yeah.
You know, if you look like Justin Jefferson last year, it was a solid year. He was definitely top 5, maybe top 10 wide receiver.
Right.
You know, so it's like ideally, it's like, all right, is Justin Jefferson worth the pick? Or we'll do it from this angle. Travis Kelce, is he worth, taking as your first tight end, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round? We'll look at his stats last year, right? Now look who's on the team this year. I think he may be poised for more targets,
Right.
right? So if you want to take that gamble, go ahead, right? But at least be educated. Don't go off a projection. Oh well, ESPN said he was gonna have like 1,200 yards. Don't take anybody else's word for it. Look at the history. Look at the stats, and determine it. All right, in this system, will he flourish or will he fucking shit the bed?
Right.
In Travis Kelce's case this year, it seems like he'll flourish more than ever. In comparison to, let's say, Hunter Henry playing for New England, not that good of a year last year. Would I trust the projections of this year? No, absolutely not. In the system now, is he gonna flourish with Mac Jones? There's a possibility of it, but I'm not willing to gamble on it in an early pick for him.
Nope.
Like we said before, or I said before, Mike Gesicki. Look at the stats last year. He was definitely a top 10 for fucking tight ends last year, in stats-wise, fantasy points-wise. Look at the situation he's in now. He's got Tyreek, Waddle, Edmonds, Mostert, all in unison with him in the system now. So it's like he may go. The defenses may be looking at him where they don't even know where he is, where he's going to get more looks, more targets, more catches, more yards.
Or he could be the odd man out.
Yes, which is, I would take the gamble on Gesicki this year. You know, if it backfires, it backfires. You know, you live and you learn.
Right.
Now we're talking about tight ends a lot. Now tight ends shouldn't be your main focus, but
No.
like we said, if you have an opportunity to grab one of these guys, a later round and no one's really looking at him, go for it. I think it will do. I don't think it'll do nothing but help your lineup.
Yeah, and like you said, don't forget. Look at who's coming off the board. If you're looking at the board and you look and you're up and you look at the last 5 or 6 picks, and they're all wide receivers. All right, well, think. Oh, should I grab a wide receiver because 5 have come off the board? Maybe not. Go look at a different position because now if you got 5 running backs or wide receivers coming off the board, usually there's going to be more of another position sitting there. So just, don't just sit there and watch your draft and just watch the guys going, just looking at the screen. No, go look at the running backs, look at the wide receivers, and constantly keep looking through the position players to see, who's going to be there, and just, and then on another piece of paper, just write guys down, and just pay attention.
Yeah, you brought up a great point.
Don't fall asleep.
You brought up a great point. In every draft, there's trends. So if you see wide receivers going and you don't have yourself a wide receiver, yes, that should be an indicator to you. Well, they're trending now. I better grab one now before they're all gone.
Yes.
But now if you're okay at wide receiver and you see the trend of wide receiver, now you know that there's other guys out there that no one's grabbing.
Go look at quarterbacks. Go look at running backs.
Absolutely, Danny. You're 100% right on that. If you're okay at a position that you see is trending through your draft, start looking for other players at other positions because people are missing these guys. Don't fall asleep.
In a sense, that's how I got Josh Allen. I grabbed him in I think it was the 6th or 7th round. Because I'm watching the whole thing. I'm watching the whole thing on the side of the page. Wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, running back, running back, running back, running back. And then I'm getting to the 5th, 6th round, and I'm like, wait, I don't have a quarterback yet. And I'm like, wait.
No one's grabbed the quarterback.
Yeah. So.
And you essentially grabbed the best quarterback in fantasy right now.
I mean, you could have a Justin Herbert or whatever, but
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, but from his year last year, Josh Allen had a fucking incredible year last year, fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but look at you. You did your due diligence. You looked. You seen the trend going. You knew you had Stephon Diggs and Nick Chubb already. It's like, or whatever, extra guys you had, you're like, all right, well, fuck, why not grab them?
Yeah,
And
and then you got to figure their bye is week 7, so you're gonna have them for the stretch run.
Yes, and I'll tell you, Danny, to your point being, I've seen people win championships making that move right there. The PPR, yes, PPR matters about your wide receivers and your running backs, essentially. But to get like the number 1 or top 5 quarterback, which is going to put up the average of maybe 20 plus points a week.
Or more, he's putting up almost 300, almost 400 passing yards a game
Depending
every
on
week.
the league.
At least 2 or 3 touchdowns. Why not?
All right, so depending on the league, 25, maybe 30 points averagely, That's a fucking steal right there. So while everybody was concerned in that, that mock draft of, oh, I need running backs, I need wide receivers, Danny was able to think like, okay, I think I'm okay. I have like 3 or 4 stars already, solid guys. Let me make this lineup complete and not follow the trend and grab the best guy out there.
Right.
Which he did, which was Josh Allen, which was a great pick. Like I said, I've seen people win league championships off a pick like that.
And then not for nothing, like, I was able to get the Rams defense at like the 9th or 10th round. And I get it, defense is usually you pick earlier. I mean, you
Later.
Later. But when I looked at the defenses, when I'm looking, I'm like, wait, how is this defense still sitting here? They won a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, and they were with top 10, top 5 defense in the league last year.
And they're locked and loaded, ready to go again this year. I'll take it.
I mean, from your draft, those 2 picks right there, you were ahead of the game of everybody. Now, if LA performs the way they did last year, it's a solid defense, right? You could drop a player on your lineup that's doing shit for their bye week just to pick up a defense.
Right.
Right? And then that Josh Allen pick.
And don't forget, you can pick up. I think it more so works for the defense as far as a position player. When you're looking in waiver wires and you're looking at projections and matchups, not just this week, but the next week and the week after that, and you're looking at the defenses that are sitting there in the waiver wire, and you're like, oh, they're sitting they're sitting there, and you're not crazy about them because they're not having a great year. But then when you're looking at their matchup in 2 weeks, oh, they're playing this team. Oh, I know that team is the worst team in the league. Let me take this defense now, hold it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just play the matchup.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys, right now. If you're
prematurely, just.
I 100% I agree with you.
I've done that before, and it's worked out in the past when I've played fantasy.
Mm-hmm. We're giving you guys some sauce right now. So when you guys watch this episode, like the fucking video, right? Because we're literally giving you the sauce right now. What I did last year, and sometimes I do it depending on how my lineup's looking and how much importance the defense is playing in my lineup. Find the worst team in the league. Whoever that last year was the New York Jets. I'll tell you this right now, I won 5 matchups last year, just let alone, all right, whoever's playing the Jets, I pick their defense up, I put them in. Find the shittiest team in the league and find the defense that's playing them.
And for the most part, we know that that's going to be the Giants. That's going to be the Jets.
I would say Seattle, Washington.
Maybe Jacksonville again.
It's gonna take some time, but by week 4, you'll know who the shittiest team in the league is.
Yeah.
Right? And it may flux. They may be shitty for 4 weeks, then they improve, then this other team is shitty for the next 4 weeks after that. Find it. It'll be there. You'll see it. A lot of people won't pick up on this because they don't think that defense is that important. In Danny's case, where he has the Rams defense, he could, just for that 1 week or like a 2-week stretch where they're playing, high caliber teams, he can go out and drop a no-name player that's not performing on his lineup just to pick up a defense who's going to have great matchups for 2 to 3 weeks, and he can bank off of it.
Yep.
While still holding the number 1 potential defense in the league for his championship runs and stuff like that. His
100%.
playoff run, his playoff push, or however you want to say it.
No, absolutely. So, like I said, be aware. You know, look
Don't
at the
fall asleep at the wheel because
yeah,
it won't end up well. It
and
will not.
and it goes by fast. So
Very fast,
be
especially
on
if you
that
guys are
shit.
doing it on a computer where you get 30 seconds or 60 seconds. That 30 to 60 seconds fucking flies faster than you think.
It does. It truly does.
Yeah, man. If you guys don't like the video, you guys can go fuck yourself because me and Danny just gave you fucking sauce McGoss on all of that.
Yeah, no, that's
I mean, we can go down that lane with kickers. There's really not. The kicker should be the last thing on you. Your last pick should be your kicker. I'm sorry, that's just the way I do it.
well, I wouldn't say your last pick because you got to figure, you know, you obviously you want to have one of the top 5 kickers, or you want to have a kicker where, all right, even if the team's not going to score a lot of points, if if the quarterback on that team is consistently getting them downfield enough to kick field goals, but they're not getting into the end zone. That's money right there. Because
I,
if you got a guy that's consistently going to be kicking 3 or 4 field goals every week, how many points for a field goal?
it depends on the yardage, but usually like for 30 to 40 is like 3 points. 40 to 50 is like 4 to 5.
Okay, so right there, even in the 30-yard range, if you got a guy that kicks 4 30-yard field goals in a game, that's 12 points from your kicker. That's great.
Yes, that is. It is. I mean, for
I
me,
mean, I was riding on fucking Mason Crosby a couple years back one time, and he was
when he was fucking dynamite, when
he was money.
yeah. Uh, to your point though, which you 100% you're correct on it. Someone like the Giants kicker, look at that. Their first preseason game, I believe, against New England. New England only had their number 2s in there, right? But the first drive, Daniel Jones couldn't punch it in, so they had to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
So maybe be looking at somebody like the Giants kicker or the Jets kicker, somebody's an offense is good but not great, where they don't get into the end zone.
Also, pay attention to your draft position. Now, like when I was talking to DJ the other day offline, and we were talking about where you're gonna want to be positioned in the draft. You have to look at, all right, well, I have the 7th pick. All right, so let's just say, because like DJ was saying, it goes 1 to 10 and then 10 to 1 and back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the draft board as you're drafting, not just the players, but look at your draft position.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, okay, so we're in the 4th round and it's going 1 to 10 and I just picked that 7. All right, so now when it comes back around, you're going to be picking before some of the other guys. So pay attention to that. There were a couple times when I was picking in my mock draft where I picked a guy, and I didn't realize that looking at the thing that I had the next pick right after that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you were 11, so it was...
Pay attention to that.
Yeah, it was 12-12. It was 11-12-12-11.
Right.
So, you're 100% right. I 100% agree with you, Danny. If you're at a late position like that where the swing comes back real fast, you should have in mind who you're going to pick already, those 2 guys, right?
Yep.
And then you have to see who's more vital to your lineup. Don't just pick the guy with the most pizzazz because he may not be vital to your lineup coming back.
Exactly.
So you want to pick the most important guy, and then on that way back, hopefully the other guy is there. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. This is why I would say if you're doing live draft, fellas, keep to yourself. People will overhear you thinking or what you're doing, and they will steal that guy from you. I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
Keep to yourself in that position.
If you're doing a live, like you said, if you're doing a live draft and you're in a room with 10 other people, dude, fuck everybody else. Get your shit, get your coffee, your beer, your soda, whatever it is. Go sit in the corner by yourself and stay to yourself. And just the only time you should be shouting out is when you're picking a guy. Mm-hmm. If anybody wants to come over, fuck you, get away from me. Don't talk to me until after the draft. Seriously.
Well, I mean, if it's cutthroat like that, I 100% agree.
No, I just in general, you stay the fuck away from me. You stay over there and you draft. You can bullshit with them and do your thing. Because while y'all are bullshitting, maybe one of y'all is not going to be paying attention. I'll stay over here by myself in my corner with my notes, with everything I need, trying to build my team.
I I can't disagree with you. I can't. All right, guys, that's it for NFL news and fantasy this week. We're gonna dive into our hated or love it's, and that'll be it until next week. Next week, you will see me and Danny's draft on Saturday. That'll be Saturday's episode. So we won't be talking about baseball next week. It'll be all football. So Saturday, you'll see our live drafting process. In progress. Sunday, we'll go over it, and we'll go over everybody's teams. We'll break it down with you, right? So from everybody in the league, from all it may be 8 to 10 guys. I'm not sure yet. I have to settle it this week, but like I said, we'll go through our drafts, how we drafted, and then we'll go through everybody else's draft just to show you where they were thinking and what their thought process were in that time, that pick, that round, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
All right, Danny, I'll lead it off. Hate it or love it. Brett Baty will stay and become the Mets' starting third baseman for the future.
For the foreseeable future, yes, but I think long term, I'm not sure. I'm not against it if that happens, but Steve Cohen, wanting to, keep this, build this team up and spend money and whatnot. I mean,
I like it. The kid's young. He's finally got his chance to come up. And first at bat, first swing, the kid fucking cranks one.
right.
And there's only been like 5 players ever to do that. Now I'm not saying that makes him special or he's going to be an all-star. I just like the fact that they're staying with their system. It's not, we I know you were upset at the trade deadline. They didn't make a splash, right? But I feel as if they're like one of the only teams now, and I'm not singling them out as just them, but it seems like the way they're handling things is like Steve Cohen's like, look, off season, let's try to get some big guys that can help our lineup, Starling Marte and such like that. But for a gamble, I'd rather just stay in house, right? Even their trade deadline moves, they were bench guys. If there's not a guy out there that's worth the trade, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I see Batty staying as their third baseman. I would just say the max the next 4 years.
Honestly, I can see them not trading him. I can see them, oh no, yeah, maybe trading him because you got Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, and I forgot who there's going to be 4 potential free agent superstar shortstops next year.
Yeah, but we're talking about third baseman.
No, what I'm saying is you trade Batty, you put McNeil over at third. Now you keep Escobar on the bench, and then you go out there and you get one of those guys, and now you have that guy and Lindor up the middle. You got all-star third baseman McNeil, and then you got Alonso at first. Now you're looking a lot better.
Okay.
And who would you trade Batty for? Well, I'd put him in a package for Ohtani.
I think you and everybody across the fucking league would package anybody for fucking Shohei Ohtani. Just being real.
Right.
I think at this point the fucking Colorado Rockies would sell the team just to acquire him.
Yeah.
Like, you can take the team, I just want him. All right, Danny, it's on you.
We kind of touched on it, like I think a week or two ago. I had brought it up, but I had wrote it down as a hate it or love it, and I was gonna use it I think a week or two ago, but I
You saved it.
I saved it, and I had come up with other ones, but so hate it or love it, Lamar Jackson will end up in Minnesota.
I love it for the sake of you, because you're my brother and I want to see you happy. You know what I mean? I love it in that aspect just so it could happen for you, but I don't see it happening logically. I just don't see. I don't see Baltimore passing up on it. I think they're gonna simp themselves out for Lamar
And give him the money.
and give him whatever he wants.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, but and we've seen crazier things happen where he could sign a contract and then he could pull a Kevin Durant. I don't want to be here.
Well, not even that. They can franchise tag him next year. Play out that last year while Kirk Cousins plays out his last year, and then, going into the year after that.
Well, all right. Hypothetically speaking, in being realistic, I respect Lamar because he represents himself as his own agent, right? And he's already said, look, if we can't get the deal done by week 1, we'll just put that conversation to bed and we'll talk about it in the offseason. Right?
Right.
So now season's over, whatever happens, he wants to open up negotiations again. They say, fuck your negotiations, we're going to franchise tag you. That could piss Lamar off. After that franchise tag year, he's set to be a free agent. Now, I mean, Minnesota's done wild things before. We've seen with Kirk Cousins, they threw $100 million at the man.
$88 million. Well, I mean, overall in general with the contract extensions and everything, yeah, over $100 million. Yeah. But
so it can happen. Excuse me, I'm sorry there. So it can happen if it does happen like that hypothetically.
Right.
They have money to blow, and they've done it before, and Lamar's there. He may be upset where he's like, look, this team doesn't respect me. They wouldn't even give me a deal. I was patient with them. I waited till the year was over. I wanted to start opening up negotiations again. They told me, fuck you. Here's the franchise tag. So then after that year, I said, hey, fuck you. I'm leaving.
Right.
It could happen. I wouldn't put it past.
Kind of hoping it does.
I mean, you guys would definitely be in the driver's seat to take that division. Be 100% honest with you.
Yep. Give him those weapons.
Mm-hmm. All right, Danny. Hate it or love it. The MLB should start treating DUIs like PEDs in terms of punishment.
I love it.
You get a DUI, like I'm not saying 80 games, but it should be
No.
like DUI 45 games.
A 3-strike rule, like you said. First 45, then what? Let's say 80, and then after 80,
A year.
A year.
And then every time, like, all right, so you get caught after that, so it should be like a 5-strike system. So the third strike you get a year, second strike you get 2 years. That 5th strike, that's it. That's your ass, Mr. Postman.
I would say after the 3rd strike, that's it. Because after the 3rd strike, like how many more times I gotta keep giving you a chance? How many more times are you gonna keep proving to me that you're a fucking buffoon? And then, like, you seen the video, oh, I didn't know I was driving fast. Oh, I'm sorry, I played for the Braves. Oh, I'm special. Fuck yourself, bro. Like, seriously, you're a fucking buffoon.
Well, that's why it was one of my hated or love it this year. Not this year, this week, is because we talked about Marcell Ozuna yesterday. And it made sense to it. Like, if you're going to hold PEDs in that standard of that high, punishment value, then a DUI especially should be held just to that standard as well. For Christ's sakes, every league gives you a driving service.
I mean, the last time the last 2 players that we lost due to this thing, I mean, one's not dead, one is. We lost Dwayne Haskins because he wanted to be a fucking idiot and be intoxicated and walk in the middle of a highway.
Yeah, I mean.
And then Henry Ruggs wants to be a fucking idiot and
do 120 miles an hour in Las
kill
Vegas.
Somebody. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Dwayne Haskins and his family because it sucks to lose somebody you love.
Yeah.
But you're a fucking idiot. You're like.
You're 100% right. It's like, dude, you could have just made one decision. Hey, I need a driver.
But no, not all of them, but I mean, the players that do this, they think they're untouchable. They think they're special. They think they can do whatever they want. And like I was saying yesterday, We have friends, and I know people that I've spoken to that say, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I can handle myself." Da 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 da. Yeah, until it fucking happens to you, and
Well,
you ruin your life and somebody else's life.
well, I have one of the most perfect stories right here. I had just been born. I think I was like 2 years old. My dad went through the windshield of his fucking truck into a fucking graveyard. Thank God that God blessed him to live it, another day. But that was the last time. That was a wake up call for him. Some of you guys don't get wake up calls.
No, you really
I.e.
don't.
Haskins, Ruggs. You think that wake up call is gonna come, and it doesn't.
You don't see the writing on the wall. You're just like, oh, okay,
Yeah, like, oh, I've done it before, I do it again.
that's not gonna be me.
And guess what? It could fucking be you.
Yep.
And I get it. My dad always said for younger kids, when you give a kid $1 million, what he's gonna do? He's gonna show off. We get it. I understand it.
Yeah, but then I mean, not for nothing. At some point, someone's got to say it. This definitely falls on the parents too. Lack of the lack of teaching your kid responsibility
Yeah.
and how to make better choices and make safer choices.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to be disrespectful, but no, someone's got to say it. That definitely at some point it falls on the parents.
I 100% agree with you, because it shouldn't be the organization. As an organization, I'm paying you as a responsible adult, right?
Exactly.
So yes, I 100% agree with you. It should come down to the parents, where your father or mother should be like, "Hey, stop being a fucking dumbass. You have the opportunity." People in other countries would kill to be in your position, and
Right.
you just don't give a fuck.
I mean, and not for nothing, it's not to talk back on this issue that we talked about in the beginning of the episode, but not for nothing, a lot of these kids that come into the league, they're coming into the league and they were raised in single parent homes. And most of the time, if it's a single parent home, is it a father raising the kid or is it a mother raising the kid?
Most likely, I would say 85% of the time plus, it's the mother.
Oh. I'm not going to say more, but oh.
Believe.
Fucking stupid shit.
All right, Danny, it's on you before we fucking get canceled.
Hate it or love it, LeBron James signed that 2-year extension.
I fucking hate it. Look, I get it. He's still a great player. He's top 5 players in the world. But I'm not. From last year, it's like, the way I see it is like, all right, if you haven't seen the writing on the wall from last year, and now we're reinvesting into this shit, I'm sorry.
And then knowing that we came into the off season with very minimal cap space to make any moves, but magically there's $97 million there for LeBron, though, right?
Yeah, 48 for this year, and then 40 something for the next. So
But let's not somehow take that money and build the whole team. No, let's just allocate it to one guy. Genie, get your head out your ass. Rob Pelinka, you need to go. LeBron, fucking AD, get the fuck out of LA. Kyrie, stay in Brooklyn or go somewhere else. Kevin, go fuck yourself. Genie, rebuild this team.
Well, I mean, the only positive as it is 2025, they'll all be gone.
It's too long.
Well, I mean, they have the player option for 2024, so I mean,
you think he's gonna pass up $50 million
to go play with his son? Yeah, I think he will. He's already made the most money as an active player. He already has a production company. I hate to say it, but that the phrase does ring true here. He has more money than God. You know that saying, like, he's got more money than God. He does. Money is not a concern from him anymore. He'll be well off, taken care of for the rest of his life.
So why take $97 million, knowing that the team around you that you're playing on needs to get rebuilt, needs to get,
Well,
you want to bring pieces in.
I get it, but it's also in the same token, Danny. It's like, if someone's throwing $90 million at you, are you gonna say no?
It depends. I mean, in general, no. But I mean, if I'm in his shoes and I want to win, I don't care about the money. No, I'll take half of that and give me a team.
Well, I mean, to your point, in which you make 100%, this would go into real champions. What do real champions do? I.e., an example, Tom Brady. I'll take a pay cut, pay the other guys. I want to win. You mean?
Yeah.
That's what you usually see from champions.
Tom Brady is the greatest underpaid player ever.
Ever. Period. There's no debating that whatsoever. Now, I get it. You know, some players that do that, where like they'll take the pay cuts, and then later on in their career they're like, all right, it's time for me to get paid. I won't fight you on that. You're 100%. You took the bumps and bruises. You took the pay cuts. Now it's time for you to get paid.
This
I get
is
it.
one of my last 2 contracts I'll ever sign. I want to get paid now.
Yeah, I get it. But LeBron's been overly paid for handsomely since he left fucking the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Where they all took a pay cut, where they all were getting $30 million. Okay, all right, you did it. I get it. But $97 million on the Lakers' part, not on LeBron James' part, on the Lakers' part, was just a stupid move.
It was.
And you're really gambling with AD and his fucking health, and like we talked about last week, I haven't shot a basketball in 3 months.
And you're still trying to be in the Kyrie Irving fucking sweepstakes, giving up a bunch of draft picks and this and that for this guy. Like, really?
For a guy who literally I don't know if this is true or not, but I seen it last week where last year he was trying to work into his contract, or last year or the year before that, where he only had to play 60 games. So where he could choose when he wants to play or not.
In my opinion, I mean, I get it, after years and years of having a certain player or a coach or a GM there, you want a clean house and a new voice and everything, but for the life of me, I wish they would bring back Mitch Kupchak.
Hey,
I think Mitch Kupchak was a fucking genius.
Well, I think
that's my opinion.
Wasn't he responsible for bringing in Gasol?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Lakers are about to retire Gasol's number into their Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I've seen that.
All right.
So,
is it on me or you? Oh, it's on me. All right. Hate it or love it, Danny. Did Detroit Lions surprise everybody and claim a wild card spot this year?
Nope, I hate it.
Why?
Detroit's a dead zone. Stay in the dead zone.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being biased by watching Hard Knocks, but I like what I see from their coaching staff and their players. And I'm not. I didn't want to be like, oh, they're gonna win a division, because that's just not gonna happen.
No.
I'm just saying maybe the last wild card spot. Now that it's 7 teams.
Even though the AFC is stacked, there's way too much competition, and I think in the NFC. I mean. I
get why I wouldn't be upset with you, like you're saying, like, no, you don't see it happening. You know what I mean? I understand that. I wouldn't be mad at that. I just think it would be fun to watch them, last year. They had a rough go at it. Right? I think they got blown out of 17 games, I think they got blown out of 3. Other than that, all those losses were 1 possession games.
Just like Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, they had like 8 or 9 games that were 1 possession games, and
half of them were in the final seconds.
If you split that in half, then Minnesota is an easy 10 or 11 win team,
and they're a wild card team. So that's what I'm saying. For the sake of that, if my prediction is right, the way the coaching staff is coaching these guys and having them execute, I don't put it past them that they can get a wild card. Weirder things have happened. I wouldn't put my whole life savings on it, but I think it can be done. Like you said, the AFC is stacked out the ass. The NFC, yes, it is very competitive for those teams that are usually there every year.
But it is still a little wide open.
Yes. I'm just a wild card, just the 7th or 6th. I'm not talking, the 5th wild card or something like that. No, I think they could do it. All right, it's on you, Danny boy.
So we were talking about it yesterday because even with their injuries, they have been playing very well lately. And it is the regular season, but the playoffs are a different game. It's a different monster. It has its own set of unspoken rules and speed and everything. But hate it or love it, the Dodgers will not make a deep playoff run. Their pitching issues are going to come back to bite them in the ass in the playoffs.
God, that's a good one, Danny. That's a really fucking good one. I love it just for the fact that the NL is very, very competitive this season. Like
Yeah.
overly competitive. If it was like last year, I would probably say I hate it. I'd be like, I think the Dodgers are just gonna roll through it. But I think the NL is way too competitive this year. The Mets, Atlanta, Philly, the Cardinals,
San Diego,
Padres,
Milwaukee.
and Milwaukee. Any of those teams can beat LA. You know, now LA's on a historic pace, like we talked about yesterday. But again, like we talked about yesterday, there's two seasons to every sport. It's the regular
Yep.
season and the postseason, right? So those pitching woes and baseball is a game that is you need to have pitching and great pitching to win a World Series. Or
Absolutely.
at that moment in time through that postseason, your pitching clicks. It's
Yeah.
not the best, but it's clicking.
Getting hot at the right time.
So I would say I love it at this point. So I agree. I don't think I like. There's always every time in every sport we have that one team that is just fucking blowing everybody out of the water, and then it comes time to the playoffs, and then you don't even see that team anymore. You're like, what the fuck? What is going on? Like, what happened? It can
Yeah.
happen.
Yep.
All right,
Seattle.
yeah. I think this is funny that you asked your question because here comes my hater to love it. Hater to love it. Padres missed the playoffs this year.
I love it.
I love it too because I even
Ooh,
with
and
Tatis being suspended, that's a scary fucking team.
and you just gave me a hit on we're not doing baseball next week, but actually, you know what? I could always switch my fifth one, but we'll continue.
Yeah.
So it's mine, right?
Yes, sir.
Hate it or love it. Albert Pujols plays next year to hit 700.
I fucking love it.
Me too.
Let's fucking go, baby. And I hope he plays throughout the whole season next year. Not every day, but he gets the 700 and he's given the opportunity to hit more. It's not like, all right, you hit 700, sit down on the bench, you're done. It would be exciting for him to hit. Let's say he finishes the year with 13 home runs and he hits another 13 next year, so where he finishes with like 705, 706.
Yeah.
Nah, I love that.
Or not even the 706. Just once he hits the 700, done. Walk away, retire. Right then and there, just stop playing.
Yeah, that I wouldn't like that. I would like to see him play the rest of the year and go above 700. Not to like, 720, 750. No, just like 706, 707. You know what I mean? All right, Danny. Hate it or love it. The USFL and their players this season will show that they are a formidable competition to play in the NFL. They will show that they belong in the NFL.
What do you mean?
So Dallas had signed the USFL's MVP last year. I think his name is Kadarius. Cavante Turpin. Last night in the what?
How do you spell that?
Kavontae and then Turpa.
Yeah, I see it.
He had an explosive game last night. So I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't he have 2 punt returns?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I seen that on NFL.com.
So basically, my hate it or love it is the USFL players will show that they belong in the NFL this year.
Just based off of him?
Not him, but the other guys that from the USFL that have signed to NFL teams. Him, an example being one of them. The reason why I ask is because you know how all these other leagues look at the below leagues, right? Look at how Kurt Warner was looked at for years. Oh, you played fucking arena football. Who the fuck plays arena football? Who the fuck cares about arena football? And then what? He fucking has a Hall of Fame career, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I'm not against it at all in any way. Honestly, that there's nothing wrong with that. I'm perfectly cool with that.
Well, the reason why I ask it, also is because these guys have a chip on their shoulder. They have something more to prove than a guy who was drafted in the first round who thinks he's, hot shit and money.
Right.
This guy understands, if I don't perform, my ass is going right back to the USFL where we don't get paid as much.
Yeah.
We're not televised. I'm not a star like I should be.
No, but I think it's good because it opens up it opens up the pool of players.
Yes.
More. I mean, like kind of how baseball does with like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and Japan and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I like it. I love it.
All right, last one's on you, Donnie boy.
All right. Hated to love it. The Padres will not re-sign Soto. They're gonna end up trading him before his contract is up. And honestly, I feel as though they're not. I don't know. You gotta figure this.
Well,
I just don't think that's gonna happen, and I don't think they're gonna get. Well, they could still get as much as they gave up for him, but
not likely. But somewhat, they'll leave half, 3/4 of what they gave. They'll get back. Me and you were big advocates of, all right, you want to try something new, try something new. You know what I mean? As in, an example, the Angels. All right, so you tried this. And you tried, and you tried, and you tried. Now it's time to dismantle and give up on that idea.
Yep.
I think if they don't win a World Series within the time that's left on his contract, yeah, they're gonna let him go. They'll trade him. They're probably gonna open up shop and get rid of pretty much everybody. I don't think Machado's gonna be there much longer. Tatis is kind of, he fucked himself. He shot himself in the foot with the PEDs because San Diego may not want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Josh Bell, he may want to get overpaid. So I don't see it. I don't see it outside of the realm where they're gonna have to make a decision where it's like, look, why don't we just let all these guys go if we haven't won a World Series and restart? We'll get a shit ton of prospects. We'll get players in return for trades, and we'll save money where we can build through that. So right now, I love it. We don't know. If they win a World Series within the next 2 years, they may just say, all right, well, it was a success. Let's double down. And like I said, Tatis shooting himself in the foot. He was supposed to be the face of that franchise. Now, if they win a World Series, you get rid of, Machado and Tatis. He's young. He's a perennial player. Double down. Make him the face of your franchise.
Yeah, but like with most of Scott Boras' clients, they always go to free agency because he's always trying to get them the most money. So even if they do resign him, they're not going to resign him. It's not going to be in the middle of the season or he's gonna walk. He's gonna be a free agent, and he'll probably be a free agent up until January or so, and then he'll finally sign for fucking. I feel he's gonna get $600 million.
The question is, where's he gonna go? Wouldn't it be a fucking hoot if he hits free agency and he goes back to Washington and signs the $600 million deal?
Yeah, but I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening, but that'd be one funny fucking predicament, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, because he just turned down 400 and some odd million. He's definitely gonna want north of 5. And honestly, at that point, if he's gonna want north of 5, there's only a small handful of teams that can really give him that kind of money.
Washington would be one of those teams.
Yeah, but they're not. They're still gonna be in a rebuilding process. They're not gonna be, in a position.
For the sake of your question, down that 2 or 3 year road, they could have a system in place, kind of built, and then re-adding him
Yeah, but I just don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either, but I think that'd be fucking hilarious. You know, they basically just hustled fucking San Diego, right? Like, yeah, take him. Give me everything. Give me all you got. Get it all, right? And then 3 years, they're like, oh, yeah, I'll take him back now.
Yeah, that would be funny, but
I mean, San Diego would be...
No, God, please, no, no.
yeah.
That's definitely for the Padres.
Emotional, damn.
Yeah, to give up all that and then still lose him
And then he goes back. You know, I'm not putting it past it. It may not. It most likely is not going to happen. But that'd be a hell of a thing.
99.9% chance that's not happening.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. We will see you next Saturday live for our draft. So get ready, do your studying. Hope you guys have a good draft. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.